Middle School 343 is located in the South Bronx. It's a school off of Brook Avenue, and there was about 300, give or take, 350 students, all on one floor. It's its own school. It's a neighborhood school. The majority of the students were African American and Latinos, and the classes were big, 30 kids in a class. But Devon stood out all the time. Defined at times, he would only concentrate when we had a computer in front of him or some papers to draw. And the majority of the students were like that, but Devon was one. He was caring for the teachers, for the kids. He had like a little clique, girls and boys. So yeah.
So my name is Devon, and I'm an artist from the Bronx. I went to middle school in the South Bronx with Miss Guillermo in MS 343. And by Brook Avenue, still live there. And this is my journey as an artist. So when I was in middle school, in 7th grade, I had to apply for high schools, and my dream high school was to get into the High School of Art and Design, because that's where anybody went to if they wanted to be an artist. And I was like such a slacker, because all my life everybody told me that I was talented, and so like I never worked hard at like perfecting my skill or like practicing. And I just thought I'll get in. And to get in, like you had to have like a really good portfolio, because it's like really competitive. They don't just accept everybody. So like all summer I was just like fooling around. I never practiced. I never worked on my pieces. I just thought like people used to tell me I was a beast. So I'm like, I'm a beast. I'll just do everything last minute. And then I went to my audition and I presented my portfolio, and I thought I was gonna get in. And then when I finally got my letter, I was rejected, and I was like so heartbroken, because this was like my dream school. Like to get into art and design is like a big deal. Well, it was for me at the time. Now I don't know. So this was my portfolio that I got rejected with. I drew all these in 7th grade, and these are supposed to be self-portraits. So I got rejected, and I ended up going to this school called Samuel Gompers, which was like a terrible school. It ended up being shut down because the graduation rate was really low. And so I had an art teacher there, and I told him like I didn't want to be here. I wanted to go to art and design. And he was like, let me see your portfolio. And then I showed it to him, and he was like, of course you didn't get accepted. Like it's not good enough, and you have to like show a variety of skills like portraiture and figure drawing and still lives and using pencil. He was like, crayons is like for kids. Like you can't, of course you're not gonna get in. So for like 5 months, every day I was in his classroom learning how to get better, because I only had to get in for 10th grade. I had to reapply, but I only had 5 months to build up my portfolio again. So every day after school, I would go to his classroom, try to learn more, keep building my portfolio. And at the end, I did the second audition, and he reviewed the whole thing, and he was like, oh, I think you're gonna get in for sure this time, so just go show it, and then like you'll be out of Gompers, because we worked hard like every day, even after school, like any free time I had, because I really didn't want to be there, and I couldn't let it go that I didn't get accepted into art and design. So yeah, I just want to say, like, just because I failed doesn't mean like there's always a second chance to keep going at something that you really want. And like there's a lot to learn from failure. Like I'm happy that I didn't get in, because if I would have just continued with the same attitude that I was good, and I would have never like worked hard. I probably would have just been slacking off. But when I didn't get in, it taught me like so much about persistence.
The neighborhood itself, I mean, that school was located in the middle of the projects. And a lot of our students were poor, right? We had a uniform, and the kids had to buy the uniform, or get people to sponsor them to get the uniform. The challenges was as any neighborhood school, right? If you're in the projects, a lot of the kids they need to be fed, taken care of, somebody to talk to. But in that school, they had a lot of programs for the kids. They would stay till 5:30, 6 o'clock sometimes. So they had things to do, so they wouldn't be out in the street.
So after I presented my second portfolio, I finally got in. I got my acceptance letter to art and design. And then I went in so angry, like, because I didn't get accepted the first time. So my first year, when I was there, I had like no friends. I didn't talk to anybody. All I cared about was art, and all I cared about was drawing and painting. So I went around like really cocky. I told everybody that I was going to be the best artist in the school because I didn't get accepted the first time. And I thought like, I'm not going to slack anymore. I'm going to go hard. Like every second of the day, I'm gonna be practicing. So this was me in art and design, painting. So yeah, I painted that. This is like after I. Thanks. Thank you. So yeah, this was me in school. I was out to be the best in the school. And it's only, I only had that attitude to work hard only because I learned from the first time, from failing the first time and getting rejected. So like use rejection or use any failures as like fuel to keep working harder. Oh yeah. Who the paintings up? Oh, so they were just strangers on the train. Like, so my teacher always told me that I have to draw people in person instead of like from pictures because it's harder and it makes you a better artist. So, but I never had like people to model for me, so I would just like draw random people on the subway and just practice over them. And then this is like from a picture that I took of people on the subway. You're only as good as the pictures you take because you're like, I'm copying the photos that I'm painting, so I have to be good at taking pictures to be a good painter. Yeah.
Who inspired you to paint?
There's like a lot of painters that I look up to. There's one named David Kassan. He lives in Brooklyn. He's like one of my favorites. I don't know, there's so many, but yeah. But he's like one of my favorites. So, so then this is like some work I did in high school.
The middle one looks like spooky skeleton.
And
It's a self-image, right?
yeah. It's a painting. Yeah.
Wait, you
A
spent
drawing, like you drew it.
Yeah.
skeleton.
Yeah, they're all well. This one's a painting. Those are drawings. This one's like with pen. That one's with pencil, and this is with all you paint. They all take me like a long time, so I can't do it on the spot. But I have a painting to show you guys once I'm done, and you guys can look at it up close.
That would have been like, how would you start? Because you first were doing a pencil, right?
Yeah. So
Yeah, you do it. Go ahead.
So-
I'm not an artist, but I don't know.
so I'm working on like this subway series. So I take photos of people on the subway, and then I print them out really big, and then I draw them out in pencil, and then yeah, it's hard to explain. Then like I mix the colors. It takes
Because it's painting, like
Yeah.
it's with oil paint, right? It's not with crayons and markers.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's not like you're doing in class because it's built up, right?
Yeah, it took a long time to learn how to do it. Mhm.
Are you famous?
Nah, no, I'm not famous yet. Yeah, it's probably.
He is famous. He is in the New York Times. He's gonna show you. Like,
Oh yeah.
yeah, he's gonna show you. He was probably like my 5th class that had ever graduated from that school, and I feel like by then my students were successful. So I said, my students here now, they need to see a face just like them that have made it good. Like they're not selling drugs, they didn't drop out of school, you know, somebody that they could relate to. And I said, hey, Devon is doing art, and a lot of my kids are into art, but they don't believe that they're that good. So I wanted them to see, hey, he wasn't that good then as a 7th grader, but eventually if you keep at it and persevere, you know, this is what you can end up with. So I wanted them to see that, and I wanted him to share that. And a lot of, well, you saw the second time that we went around, they're like, I need your autograph. Yeah. So they definitely felt a connection. And at lunchtime, I was asking them, so did you guys see the artist? What do you think about the artist? Like, yeah, he was good. He was good. Said, was he inspiring? And they said, yeah. I want to be like him. Like that last boy, I said to him, you're going to go and see the artist now. Ask him questions, Salif. And I'm glad, you know, he came back when I went back and he said, I took a selfie. Like that was so important to him. So it's good. They see themselves in you. And that's what our kids need to see. Somebody that looks like them that made it or is making it.
So then they put me into the New York Times, and then having like press for an artist is really huge because when you're an artist, people have to buy your work in order for you to keep going, because you gotta have money to keep buying supplies and pay your rent and stuff. So if nobody knows who you are, then like you're pretty much done. Like there's so many talented artists that they still don't like get to make it because they don't get recognition, and it's because they don't put themselves out there. So like I have an Instagram and I keep marketing myself all the time and keep putting my stuff out there, which makes people get to know me. So this got like a bunch of people, like a bunch of rich people in Manhattan, to email me and want to buy work, and it like booked me out for 6 months where I had a waiting list, and now people like beg me for paintings, and sometimes I don't even have time to get to them.
How long does it take you to do a painting?
Like a big one takes like a month. Like they take a long time.
How big is it? Like that
Like
right
this
there?
one. This one took me like 3 weeks. Yeah.
Like 3 weeks is like every day, like a
Yeah,
job,
every
9
day.
to 5.
Yeah. Yeah, every day.
You really have to get the detail.
Mhm.
You can't just start. You gotta.
Yeah.
And remember, that's his job right now, right? So he's doing a painting for somebody for 3 weeks, and you know somebody will get paid $500 for a 1 week worth of a job, or 2 weeks worth of a job, right? So he has to make sure that it's good, because that's how he's gonna land his next job, right?
Yeah.
By other people watching what he does and saying, oh, maybe he should do that for them.
At what age you find out you like to draw?
All my life, but I never like just because you have a talent doesn't mean you're gonna make it if you don't keep practicing at it. Like you could be like let's say a basketball player, you like playing basketball, but like you still have to practice every single day. Just because you're like a little better than the average person doesn't mean you're gonna make it doing that. So I always knew, but I never worked hard at it. So I got into these magazines for painting. Yeah. Yeah, that's the same guy. Mhm. Yeah. This is all hand painted, and like with this you can't tell because I don't know, it's so like tight, but like you see all the brush strokes. Yeah, that's all painted by hand. No, like with a brush, like by hand. For I should make it better, right?
That's a really good picture.
Thanks.
Sorry.
No, it's okay.
Wait, let me take a picture. So you see, that's how he starts drawing.
What was that?
Like, oh.
All right. All right.
That's with a marker. If it's with a pencil, like
they take.
you start erasing.
Yeah. This takes me like 3 weeks. Like I can't do something good in like 10 seconds. Yeah. Okay.